Hey guys, Mike from Boyer Bows. I wanted to show you what the this looked like. This is the sledgehammer handle takedown longbow. You can see how well that ace bandage kept the rawhide down. It really is nice and smooth and as close to perfect as certainly I can get it. So here's the entire limb, or one of the limbs. Now let's talk about the next step, which is the dimensions that I'm going to cut into the belly of the bow. What I did for this particular bow is from the end of the metal here, which is the end of the hardware of the handle, takedown handle, I went 1.5 inches where I'm not going to cut the handle at all. I will be sanding. See, it even curled up on me a little bit here when it dried out, but for the most part I'll sand that down, and it'll just be part of the handle, so I'm not even worried about it. But I went 1.5 inches out where there will be no reduction of the limb, and then I went 2 inches from here to here, 2 inches, with a nice gradual fade. And yes, it is a curved fade. Why a curved fade? I find that's a more forgiving fade. When you make a straight line, it can be a little abrupt, and I've seen people do them a little bit more. Instead of 2 inches, maybe 1/2 inch. It's too abrupt, guys. It's going to be bending, 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 stop, instead of the forces sort of being spread evenly and slowly climbing in the static. By the time it gets about here, it's not moving anymore. But you've got a little bit of play where it's got a little bit of room to spread those forces, let the limb get used to the fact that it's not going to bend anymore, and you'll result in not as many breaks. Okay, so what is this fade? Is from the total thickness of this limb is 1.5 inches. Okay, I went from the total thickness of 1.5 inches down to 5/8 thickness from the back of the limb to here. It's 5/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I tapered it some more. Now this is a nice straight line, obviously, hopefully, down to this spot on the tip, which is 3/8. So 3/8, tapering in this case up to 5/8, with a fade, nice little curvy fade up to full limb thickness. Yes, I had a little goof there. I forgot which end was the back and which end was the belly briefly, but I remembered. I figured it out. Okay, now the way I am going to do this is I take a utility knife with a heavy-duty razor blade, and I will do a cut along this line, just a start to help the rawhide come up. Do a cut all the way down. I try to repeat that to make sure it's all the way through, and then I take a screwdriver or something with a flat edge and pick this up, and then run it down, and any place where the knife didn't cut all the way through I will cut again. And then obviously I will do that to the other side, same deal. And once the rawhide is off, it's time to go to town with the rasp or file or whatever you got to get the wood off in that direction. And I'm going to tell you the truth, it ain't easy with a file or a rasp. Your arms are going to go, this is not red oak anymore, okay? This is hickory. It is significantly denser wood, significantly more dense, I don't know, whatever, than is red oak. Red oak is like poplar compared to this stuff, and it is going to work your arms. You don't need to go to the gym for a few days after you've done rasping these things out. But through the magic of YouTube, I happen to have the other limb. Okay, which I have already done the job on. Okay, now let's recap. From the metal, 1.5 inches, nice sort of curvy fade, down to the 5/8 mark, which was right here, with a gradual fade down to 3/8 of an inch. Now you may note I didn't make it all the way to my line. That's because I got down here, I did the basic reduction. This point in the build, guys, it took me 2 hours of non-stop filing, rasping, shaving, whatnot, and I am barely able to hold the camera up right now off this one limb. If you have a bandsaw, please use it. Enjoy your bandsaw, enjoy your power tools. Use it. What will take you about 10 minutes is going to took me 2 hours. Okay, it's nice to have power tools, I just don't have them. And in an effort of full disclosure, and to any kids out there who, I just said use a utility knife, guys, but those spots there, that ain't ketchup, it ain't Kool-Aid. I got myself pretty good with the utility knife while I was doing this. Now I'm fine, all 10 digits are intact, don't need stitches. In fact, I am wearing a Hello Kitty band-aid just so my kids don't freak out. My little girls don't freak out. Not that they would, they just like Hello Kitty. But anyway, the point is, please be careful whenever you're using utility knives. This is my safety soapbox for the day. Be careful. You're using a heavy-duty rasp that will definitely cheese grate your fingers if you do it wrong. And you're going to be using a heavy-duty utility knife to cut this rawhide, which will open you up very, very easily. I barely cut myself. And I was leaking. I had an oil leak, basically. Anyway, this was the leftover remnant of it. I guess I put a little bit of soul on the bow now, but whatever. You want to get hokey like that, I'll get hokey with you. And I didn't even really get it done, because as you can see, I didn't finish. And that was, I cut myself about half an hour into this build, and I just kept going. You know, I I rubbed some dirt on it and kept going. No, I didn't. I cleaned it up, put a glove on, and kept going. But even with that injury, my arms were done at the 2-hour mark, and so there you go. But anyway, it's starting to look like a bow. I mean, for the most part. And it's not even bending that way. It's bending a little bit right now. Just a little bit. So it's probably floor tillered if I get the other limb to this point. So I'm going to start being a little more careful with my reduction. I am going to get it's tillered about here. The rest of it needs to continue to taper down to 3/8. So I figure it's going to be pretty well springy but heavy when I get there. Anyway, the next video, I'll be there. And anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to bed. And oh, shameless plug. Shameless plug. Ooh, shameless plug. What's on the other side, I wonder? Oh, look at that. On the other side. Oh, who are those guys? I don't know. Go see them. Check them out. It's the Hog Zone. Go check them out. I'm having more fun on that channel, guys. I can't even tell you. Anyway, see you guys later. When I get back to you again, I'll have the other limb down to this level and fully tapered down, and we'll talk about how we're going to taper out these tips and how to cut nocks into this and all that kind of good gobbledygook. Alright? Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you soon. This is Mike from Boyer Bows. And while you're here, go visit the Hog Zone. Well, there's one more thing, guys. I'm going to do a shout-out video to some of the people I want to give a shout-out to. I've been telling people that I was going to do that for a while, and I just never got around to it. Well, I think it's time I do that. In the spirit of the shameless plug, I was a professional wrestler at one point, guys. Cheap pop. This is what we call a cheap pop. Yay! Yay! Okay, anyway, if I said, I can't remember everyone I said I was going to give a shout-out to, or a cheap plug, or a cheap pop to, so if I said that to you, write me a personal message or something, or throw it in the comment section, whatever, because I've, at this point, forgotten who you are. That's what happens when you get old, man. Anyway, take care, guys. This is Mike from Boyer Bows. Have a great one.